Like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Hey, what's cooking, good looking? Welcome back to the channel. So, Season 3 of Street Fighter 6 is officially in full swing. A little over a week ago, the first character of the season, Sagat, was added to the game. And this dude is a problem. Sagat has been menacing people for the past week. And it's really funny because, like, Sagat, depending on what Capcom wants from him when he's added to a game, sometimes he's a little overwhelming. And then other times he's a little undercooked. He was undercooked in Street Fighter V. But in this game, this dude is a problem, right? Like, usually he's Mr. Tiger Shot Man, full screen fireballs. In this game, he's like, you know, he's Mr. Mid-range, I'm gonna mug you with my long-range normals, right? But you know what? I like Sagat. I'm glad he's strong, you know? It's the natural order of things, in my opinion. After Sagat, we're getting Sea Viper. She's gonna drop sometime in the fall, right? So within the next month or two, we're gonna get Sea Viper. And then we're going to get a 4 to 5 month break in between Sea Viper and Alex, who drops in the spring of next year. I'm going to make a wild prediction. I think we're going to get Capcom vs. SNK 3, the announcement of that, at the Game Awards in December, right? That's like the halfway point between these two characters. So that only makes sense to me. I could be wrong, but, you know, I'm taking a shot in the dark there. And then after Alex, at the end of spring next year, we're getting England, right? And that's the entirety of Season 3. However, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about something in particular on different platforms. I've been seeing YouTube comments, I've been seeing people say this on Twitter, as well as in like Reddit threads, but people are making predictions about the final season of Street Fighter 6, right? Which is, you know, does that seem a little premature? A little bit, but for some reason, that's where everyone's thoughts are. I've been seeing people say things like, oh, dude, what if we get G back, right? And he's going to be the final boss of Street Fighter 6, right? But he's going to be like a super power version, and they're going to call him Z or something crazy like that. So I wanted to add my 2 cents into this discussion, right? Because I think it is really interesting that, you know, so many people are in the same headspace right now. I think that we've cracked the code of how these seasons work, right? I think there's a through line that we've gotten with every season pass so far, right? Really quick, guys, before we get to it, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe if you guys like fighting games, if you guys like Capcom stuff. Help your boy out, I'd appreciate it. We're shooting for 3,000 subs right now. We're almost there, too, so I would appreciate any help we can get. But first, let's take a look at Season 1, right? Because I feel like we cracked the code, right? I think every season we get 4 archetypes of Street Fighter characters, right? The first type of character that we get is the protagonist. In Season 1, the protagonist character was Rashid. And for those of you guys who are unfamiliar, you're probably like, dude, what? How is Rashid a protagonist character? I'm glad you asked. Rashid is actually the main character of Street Fighter V. For those of you guys who did not play the story mode, your jaw is probably on the floor right now. You're like, what? Rashid was the main character? Yes, he was, right? And by main character, don't get me wrong, Ryu is that main character, right? He's the front man, okay? But every Street Fighter game, we get a new main character who's not Ryu, right? And they're kind of like the 2 co-leads. That's how this thing works. Rashid is the main character of Street Fighter V, and he was added in Season 1. In Season 2 is a little weird because we got 2 guest characters. We did get a main character, though. That main character is Terry Bogard. Terry Bogard is the main character of the Fatal Fury series. And, you know, some of you guys are like, dude, what about Rock? What about Rock Howard? Listen, I hear what you're saying. Rock is kind of like, he's that co-lead position, right? He's like Luke, right? He's like Jin from Tekken, right? Cool, they're the main character, but when they start sending out Smash Brothers invitations, you're not gonna get one. Terry's gonna get one. Luke isn't gonna get that invitation. Ryu is, right? Jin's not gonna get it because Kazuyu's gonna get that invitation. You see what I'm saying? That's the main character right there. The front man, if you will. So Terry is that main character of Season 2. It's a little strange because, like I said, we got guest characters, so it's a little strange there, but that is the archetype that Terry invokes in Season 2. In Season 3, we got my boy Alex. Alex, he is the main character of Street Fighter 3, which is the best Street Fighter game, in my opinion. I'm a 90s kid, I can't help it. I have a unhealthy attachment to the Street Fighter 3 cast and Alex, right? Even though Alex, historically, he's never been a really good character. He's a really hype character. Seeing Alex do Alex things is always incredibly hype. He's just not that good. At Alex's best, he's been like mid-tier, right? He's never been a high-tier character. With that being said, he still is the main character of Street Fighter 3, right? So that is the protagonist role covered. The next type of character that we get is the waifu. Every season we get a waifu character. Season 1, we got Aki. We were not prepared for the firestorm, the thunderous applause that Aki would receive before she was added to the game. Aki has been, dude, she's in the conversation for one of the top waifus in Street Fighter, right? Aki is something else. In Season 2, we got Mai, right? Mai is weird because she is another guest character. We got 2 guest characters in Season 2. Mai, she's also from SNK, from the Fatal Fury series, but she is that waifu character. Dude, I love me some Mai. She's one of the best characters in the game, but goddamn, dude, do I love seeing her just move around, dude. I love me some Mai, dude. I can't help it. She's a menace to society, but dude, what do you expect, man? You give me this hot ass lady with and she lights herself on fire? Come on. I love me some Mai. I don't think there's another waifu character that I could possibly like more than Mai. Season 3, we got Viper. Oh my God. I lied to you. The second Viper comes out, my relationship with Mai will end unceremoniously, and then Viper will reclaim her spot as #1 waifu. Come on, dude. Captain Firefeet, where do you think I got that from? God, man, dude. Viper does things to me, man. I gotta stop talking about this character before I start getting all hot and bothered in here. Viper's the waifu character Season 3, if that wasn't instantly apparent. And then after the waifu character, we get a boss character. In Season 1, the boss character was Akuma, right? In Season 2, the boss character was Bison, which is really kind of weird, a little strange, because Bison was also the first character added in Season 2. And in Season 3, the boss character is Sagat, right? And you're probably like, hey, Cap, I hear what you're saying. How do you know they're the boss character, though? I'm so glad you asked, audience. Because Capcom, they do this thing called the Giant Attack mode, right? Where basically they take the boss character of that season, right? And they do this big thing in the Battle Hub where they make you fight a superpowered boss version of that character, right? In Season 1, we had to fight Shin Akuma, right? In Season 2, we had to fight Final Bison. And in Season 3, they've not announced the Giant Attack yet. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be like Evil Sagat, right? Because he still has the Satsui no Hado in him. We know that if you played the arcade mode. Also, he mentions it in the World Tour mode as well, right? That he's become this like hermit because he's constantly suppressing the Satsui no Hado, right? So I think we are going to get a Evil Sagat boss fight in the Battle Hub. That only makes sense. He's also the final boss of Street Fighter 1. So, listen, it just writes itself, And then the final character archetype that we get is the wild card. And the wild card character, there's a little room here, but usually the wild card character is a character that people have mixed feelings about, that Capcom is reintroducing to the game to see if they can change the public opinion on them, right? In Season 1, we had Ed. Ed is a really cool character. I love me some Ed. I know a lot of you guys like Ed. He's a really sick character. But when he was first revealed in Street Fighter V, he was kind of lame. People didn't like the way his design looked. His animations looked weird. He didn't seem like a really, a well fleshed out character in Street Fighter V. Street Fighter 6, they reintroduce him. They clean up his animations. They really drive home the fact that he's this psycho-powered boxer, and he's one of the sickest characters in the game. right? So they fixed the public opinion with Ed, in my opinion. In season 2, the wild card character was Elena, right? A lot of people like Elena. I like Elena. But a lot of people don't like Elena because of her reputation in Street Fighter 4. When she was in Street Fighter 4, her healing super, dude, depending on who you ask, people will tell you that Elena killed the game because her healing super was just too much, right? Like she would just time you out. Also, Elena, she has long range limbs as well, right? So she would keep you out and then heal, and you would never beat her, Street Fighter 6, they reintroduce Elena. She does have healing, but it's tied to her level 2 super, right? And it doesn't really heal you for that much. It heals you for, about the amount of like a grab, maybe, right? So Elena, she's the wild card of season 2. Season 3, the obvious wild card is Ingrid, right? Ingrid is a character that a lot of Street Fighter fans, they feel a certain way about. A lot of people hate Ingrid. It's funny because I don't really like Ingrid, but I'm excited that she's coming to the game, right? I'm excited for all the Ingrid fans that they're getting their character, but also I'm excited for Capcom to take this character that I don't really like, and I'm excited to see how they change her up, right? Because I know that by the end of this, I'm probably really going to like her, It's always really funny when I talk about Ingrid, because I say I don't like her, and all the Ingrid fans, they come for me, they're like, how do you not like Ingrid? She's the goddess of the Street Fighter universe. Right? But then all the people that hate Ingrid, they're like, Cap, how can you say you're excited that she's in the game? How dare you? You've betrayed us. So I can never win with Ingrid, I just want her to be in the game, just so we can see what she's like at the end of all things. But those are the 4 archetypes that we get per season, right? People are talking about the final season of Street Fighter 6, and I think I can make an accurate prediction. I think the final season of Street Fighter 6, it's going to be all new characters, and I think they're going to be characters from the World Tour mode, right? Because I feel like they're setting up some characters from the World Tour mode, and also the avatar from World Tour. Listen, for people that have been on my channel for a long time, you guys are like, here we go, right? Here we go. He's going to talk about Joe World Tour. You're right. Joe World Tour is the main playable avatar character in Street Fighter 6 in the World Tour mode, right? He is a customizable avatar, but also in all of the World Tour or the DLC character trailers, the default is this black kid in the tracksuit, right? The Street Fighter community, they've lovingly named him Joe or John World Tour, right? Just because it's just a funny name for him, right? The whole point of John World Tour is that he's this he's searching for strength, and he's going on this adventure to the World Tour mode, and he's been training and practicing with different masters. I think the final character of the final season, I guess, it would be Joe World Tour, right? Or John World Tour, because he's the final character, so they wouldn't need to interact with a master, because he's the final character. You see where I'm going with this, right? They're setting up the next protagonist as this guy that's trained with all the previous World Warriors, right? I think that just makes sense. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this as well. With every DLC character trailer that we get, I see people in the comments like, oh dude, John World Tour is probably going to be the final character, right? And I'm glad that people are seeing it my way, right? So taking that protagonist spot is John World Tour. Next, we have the waifu character. I think the final waifu character is going to be Li Fen, right? Chun-Li's adopted daughter, right? She's this teenage girl. She's like a tech genius or whatever. Li Fen is really interesting because she's very popular, and Capcom, they know this. So they plaster her on a lot of promotional material for Street Fighter 6. There's a Street Fighter cafe in Japan. Li Fen, she was one of the mascot characters for this thing, right? I feel like it's just a matter of time before she's playable anyway, So I think that's an easy one. I think Li Fen, she's going to be the waifu character of the final season. The wild card character, I don't know. Honestly, dude, the wild card character, it could be anyone. I think a good wild card character is Rudra. Rudra, he's this like Dhalsim ripoff, but like he's a Dhalsim ripoff because he trained with Dhalsim. He's a failed student from Dhalsim, right? So he's this like gang member, but he uses his like, you know, fire and yoga powers, you know, to do gang member stuff, you know? Dhalsim is a character that struggles in Street Fighter 6, and I don't know, dude. I think adding Rudra to the game, it would be a really easy way for them to change up the Dhalsim playstyle, right? Like, let him keep his fire attacks, let him keep his long-range normals, but they can make him more aggressive and rushdown heavy, in my opinion, right? I don't know, dude. It makes sense to me. You know, if we're sticking with these World Tour characters, I think I would go with Rudra, right? And then the final character, we gotta have a boss character. There's a boss that you encounter multiple times in the World Tour mode, and it's our rival, Bosch. So Bosch, he starts off as your best friend in the World Tour mode. He's training with you under Luke, and then something happens. He gets infected with psycho power, and he becomes this like monster, right? And there's a boss version of him where he's just going wild, and he has these crazy powerful combos and stuff, right? If we're sticking with this archetype thing that we got going on, I think Bosch and John World Tour would make for the perfect protagonist boss combo, you know? Also, Bosch, I don't know how this dude isn't in the game yet. There's so much promotional artwork for Bosch. John World Tour as well, there's a lot of promotional art for him as well. But Bosch, dude, Capcom loves this character, dude. I mentioned how Lee Fen, how she's everywhere. Dude, there's plushies for Bosch. There's little like acrylic standees that you can buy for Bosch. I'm genuinely surprised this dude is not a playable character yet, right? So that's my prediction for the final season of Street Fighter 6. Dude, years from now, we can look back at this video and you could be like, dude, Cap, you were way off. You could, listen, hey, this is just a prediction, okay? A very educated guess, if you will. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think the final characters are going to be? Let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys in the next one.